Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gamer Scene. I'm Connor, and today I'm bringing you a Game of Thrones review on this rather sunny UK day. It's been rather hot recently, so I'm kind of roasting here as I bring you about this game. Before I start, I just want to warn you, this review may not contain nice words, so if you are loving this game a bit too much and you're maybe bumming it a little, you might want to not listen because this could get a little bit harsh. I'm going to break it down in the same way as I did for the last review, because for me that worked quite well. So it's going to be gameplay, story, graphics, and last time there was multiplayer, but this time the game contains no multiplayer, so that section I can't really do anything about. I don't know why, to begin with, because there are lots of games, like for example Borderlands. Borderlands displays the best way you can put a game like this as multiplayer. I thought that before I played it, and after I played it, well, I thought, well, actually, that might not work very well, because it's very story-based, this game, so it doesn't really work that well at all. So, but I thought that beforehand, I thought, well, it might be able to include that. Turns out I wasn't right, but personally, a lot of games, like for example Skyrim could very easily pick something like this up, the Borderlands gameplay co-op up, and manipulate it very well, and it would be awesome, but unfortunately it's not like that. Anyway, so let's head on to category number 1. We have gameplay. So when you play the game, you get to pick up whether you're basically you're a knight. No matter how you want to play the game, you're a knight, and you are a knight with a sword and shield, a two-hander, or like daggers, assassin type knight kind of thing. And so that kind of affects what weapons. However, you can, after you've chosen that, you can choose to up your skills in whichever levels you like, meaning that you've chosen one category, but then you can edit yourself to become whichever category you like. So that was kind of a bit, well, okay, you put it in there, great, but why? It didn't really make much sense, and that was with a lot of the choices you made in the game. A lot of the choices, because you can choose what dialogue to say, it was kind of whether you want to be an arsehole or a nice guy, as you'd expect, but I couldn't think, why did you want to make those choices? Well, just for the hell of it, really. I didn't feel that there was no like on screen like, oh, you gained karma. And I know sometimes that's a bit frustrating, but it just tells you why you're doing it. It reminds you whether you want to make this choice or this choice, and there was no feeling of any of that for me, and so it was kind of a bit wasted. When I first started the game, it was great. After, I troweled through the 10 to 20 minutes of cutscenes, and I'm going to get onto that a bit later in the story section. But just to warn you, this game contains a lot of cutscenes, so if you want to play a lot, do not bother. The controls for this game, this is one of my hassles with a lot of games like this. Why break something that's fixed? FIFA did it with the defensive system. The defensive system on FIFA beforehand worked, now I can't use it. The controls in games like Skyrim, Oblivion, any Elder Scrolls game, Borderlands, they worked. So why has Game of Thrones gone and ruined it? I do not understand it. The controls are horrible. You have to click on targets to attack, so you constantly click in to attack and just clicking away. And this one's like click attack, and it's just bored the hell out of me. And you also have to press the right mouse button to look around. What is wrong with just moving your mouse to look around? Why doesn't that work? And it was just so clunky and so horrible. And for example, to pick up loot, you have to click in the right place, like the exact right place. Anywhere like a millimetre out and you've got it wrong, you're not picking up the loot. And so for me, the controls, they just didn't feel right, they didn't flow, and in fact a lot of the gameplay didn't flow. You're clicking to fight, and then you can press spacebar to slow time down and use special effects, but it just didn't flow. You're constantly just clicking around and doing this and doing that, and it's like separate sections. I'm going to click now, 5 seconds later I'm going to move now. None of the smooth stuff that you're going to do when you play other games like Skyrim. I'm going to blam on about Skyrim because this is what I feel it's like, but it's not very smooth if you put it straight. It didn't flow very well at all. Anyway, now I've taxed the gameplay enough. Let's move on to story. The story is based on the first novel of A Song of Ice and Fire, called also Game of Thrones. There's a TV series about it, and what the story contains is basically there's a wall. Now, immediately I saw this wall, I'm thinking Mordor, we've hit Lord of the Rings. I had to check this first because I wasn't sure which one was made first, but apparently the Game of Thrones was written a long time after Lord of the Rings. So whilst people might say, well, you can expect it to be similar, the Lord of the Rings worked. Yeah, but there's a point when it becomes, this is too similar. This is exactly the same thing, just rewritten in a different setting. and so I did feel it was a bit samey, something I've seen before, maybe because I've seen the Lord of the Rings films recently. Great films, but I don't know, I just felt it was all a bit the same. What else? There's a lot of cutscenes, as I said, in this game. Because the game's based off on a book, there's a lot of story to tell. And because of that, the game is constantly taking control out of your hands. You're constantly spending time, like, watching a cutscene, filling out a story, and it's way too linear. This game is more linear than a ruler, for crying out loud. I mean, I constantly was going, well, what am I going to do? Well, you can only do this, otherwise you can't go any further in the game. And that's fine, but the story for me, and the whole story just wasn't that engaging. I didn't like it. The books are probably amazing, and as with anything, the story, anything adapted from a book, the book is also always going to be much better. But I just didn't enjoy it, and as the gameplay didn't flow, that made it worse. There was stealing stuff. For me, it felt like the same old. Stuff that works, yeah, it's great, but you're going to have to create something new eventually, and I probably spent less time controlling my character in this game, who just, by the way, your main character you control is an absolute arsehole, so if you get friendly with this guy, you're probably a schizophrenic killer. But, he's just, you don't get into the game. There was a lot of cutscenes, so I spent less time controlling that guy than I did doing anything else. Than I did watching cutscenes. There was so much story in that. By the time I got to playing the game, I was like, flipping it, I'm not that interested anymore. Anyway, now I've blasted 2 sections of the game, let's move on to the third. And can it do any better? Its graphics, and I'm afraid to say, no. The graphics are pretty poor. There are good standard of game out there. Game of Thrones on PC, you'd expect there to be a decent standard of graphics. Unfortunately, there's really not. I even went onto the menu. You could not do anything apart from edit the res, from what I could see. And for me, that is just not good enough. You should be able to edit everything from shadows to the size of the nail, the detail of the nail on the main character's little pinky finger. You should be able to do anything like that. And you could tell it was a console port because you could just tell it. There was nothing that stuck it out as a PC exclusive, as a PC game, not just imported for money reasons whatsoever. The animations were horrible. It was also clunky. The voice acting, I thought it was pretty poor. I then read that it was from the characters from the TV series, so it could well actually be very good. And I mean, I just didn't find it. The voices didn't match with the mouths at all. I was sitting there going, his mouth's moving, but he's not talking. He's talking, but his mouth's not moving. What's going on? And so there was a lot of, and I have to say, there was a lot of that, and I just don't know what to say about this game, really. The whole thing just did not flow. There was no point in which I was immersed. I didn't finish the game, didn't even get close to finishing the game, barely even started. Well, I did start quite well. But I just could not get into it at all. It was not nice, and I didn't like it. So, if I was going to give this game a score, it would be low. I mean, we're talking 3. I'm going to give it, right now, the number 3. Number 3 pops out in my head. The game gets the number 3 because I can imagine the storyline goes very well for people who like it, and there's also the fact that the storyline has sold well. There are 5 books, so there's got to be something in there that's different, and maybe if I got over my Lord of the Rings comparison, it would be quite good. And the voice actors are supposed to be pretty good. There was some emotion there, but I just didn't feel that it was enough for me. But aside from that, everything else, this game is not worth getting. You're talking anything is better than this. Skyrim is better than this. The Walking Dead game is better than this. And they're not even... The Walking Dead is not a better category. That port's TV series is so much better than Game of Thrones did. Do not touch this. Just a warning, do not touch it. And that's all I've got to say, really. It has a 3 out of 10 rating from me. That's my opinion, so if you don't disagree, you can comment below and don't flame me for it. Please don't. This is my opinion, but that is my opinion. 3 out of 10. Anyway, if you like the video and you like my opinion, hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, you disagree, you also agree that the game is awful, or you like the books and TV series and want to know where to get it, hit the comments section below. And if you want to have the videos straight to your homepage of YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd also like to point out, if you want to join in with the gamer scene, you want to maybe help me with videos, or you want to think you can do this all better than me, or you want to maybe give some PS3 or Xbox reviews, gameplays, make sure you head over to the gamer scene, because we are looking for people that are interested in games and interested in helping out to make videos and make write-ups for the gamer scene, so make sure you check it out. Anyway, that's me, done with this review of the Game of Thrones. That's me, Connor, out.